The Byakugan has always been the prized dojutsu of the Hyuga, and despite there having been so many Sharingan lost during the Third Shinobi World War, Kumogakure never really seemed to talk about it. No, they wanted the Byakugan. They coveted it more than anything. This is what caused the Hyuga Affair, and their reasons for desiring it were well warranted. Let's be honest here. What does the Sharingan do that the Byakugan cannot? Cast Genjutsu? Anyone can cast Genjutsu. Its observational abilities are far surpassed by the Byakugan, even when it reaches its Mangekyo state. Susanoo is a large chakra avatar, but the Susanoo isn't the only chakra avatar possible. Six-Paths Kunitsukami formed an avatar without even a dojutsu, and various other releases can craft large creatures or call upon massive-sized summons in battle. These Sharingan's abilities are hacks, but they're not always exclusive. What the Byakugan does, however, cannot be replicated, not even by the dojutsu said to be able to copy any ninjutsu, hence its name, the Copy Wheel Eye. The Byakugan's base potential surpasses even the 3 tomoe Sharingan, only being beaten out by the ease of use of the Mangekyo, but that doesn't mean that the Byakugan can't evolve itself. The Tenseigan and possibly even the Jogan are both variants of the Byakugan that, while apparently harder to awaken, show that the Byakugan's potential is still equal to that of even the strongest form of Sharingan. And today we're going to continue exploring it, the Byakugan, more specifically the Tenseigan. So grab your popcorn and look up to the Infinite Tsukuyomi once again. Let's continue this story. Welcome to the Amagi. Before we begin, only 25% of our viewers are subscribed, so if you're a fan of the video, please like and double check if you are subscribed. And with that out of the way, let's get into the video. Neji sat alone in his room at night as he was thinking about things. He'd been given the opportunity to choose for himself. For the first time in his life, he had the chance to choose freedom. To decide what team he was on. Neji was weighing it in the balance. Elsewhere, Naruto was already asleep, but Hinata laid in her bed, looking out at the moon with a bit of a smile. She finally had the opportunity to be on a team with Naruto. This was something she wanted for so long, just a chance to be close to him. She suspected that he wanted it as well. She was so excited about this that she was hardly able to sleep. That impacted her the day after when she nearly missed her sunrise yoga session. Naruto was out there before she was. She stopped and watched for a moment as Naruto attempted to perform a few more advanced moves, but he slowly fell over. She giggled about it. She walked over with her own mat and laid it down beside his. "Oh, good morning, Hinata. Sorry I'm late," she said in response. "I accidentally slept in. Did I miss the sun rising over the mountains?" She looked out to see that the sun was halfway over the mountain. "Only a part of it," Naruto said. Hinata was a little saddened by this, but she took a deep breath. "It's okay. I still get to see the rest of it with you." She began to perform her own yoga. She was putting Naruto to shame, standing on her hands and venturing into new poses without ever touching the ground with anything save the palms of her hands. To a point, it looked as if she had switched from yoga to gymnastics. Naruto attempted to mirror her, and to his credit, he was capable of keeping up. He was a little wobbly, and a few times he had to touch the ground with his knees to reposition himself. He would then get into another handstand and lift his legs into the air. She looked to him as they were both upside down and smiled. "You're really getting the hang of this." Naruto smiled. After this, they both went to begin their combat training for the day. Naruto managed to display a near-perfect protective 8 trigram 64 palms. After this, she requested that he attempt this with vacuum palm, as he had mentioned not long ago. He began to do so, and as he did, he seemed to almost perfectly mimic the palm rotation, but with what seemed like more force. She was impressed by this. Afterward, she tossed him a towel. "Are you ready to get breakfast?" Naruto caught the towel and began to wipe the sweat from his brow. "Yeah, let's go." Running in, Hiyashi saw them and gave a bit of a laugh. "You two must be very hungry." They both sat there with the biggest smiles. Hiyashi placed their plates in front of them. He kissed Hinata's forehead and ruffled Naruto's hair before sitting back in his chair and reading the daily news in Konoha. He looked over at Neji's plate, still steaming, but the boy nowhere to be seen. He understood that Neji was likely taking his time, trying to make his decision, and couldn't be expected to be seen very much today. But just as he thought those things, Neji entered. Hiyashi looked over at him from above his paper. "Good morning, nephew. I don't suppose you've reached a decision, have you?" Hiyashi began to look through the other pages. "Actually, I have." Hiyashi heard this and dropped the paper. Naruto and Hinata turned around to look at him, eager about what he was going to say. Neji began to speak. "For all my life, I felt like I never had a choice to do what I wanted to. I always felt like my fate was pre-decided from the moment I was born. But yesterday, you honored me with a choice, a chance to decide myself what I want my fate to be. And I am grateful beyond measure to you, uncle. Your fate should be your own, Neji. Your father did me, our clan, and Konoha in general a great service. Your freedom to choose is the absolute least we can do. So tell me, What is your decision? Neji thought about it. I weighed it in the balance, my own desires and what I wanted the most, and I reached the conclusion that I'd like to be on a team with Naruto and Hinata. Naruto and Hinata raced from their chairs to Neji to hug him. This left Neji feeling quite embarrassed. Hiyashi then spoke. I'm glad you chose to honor my desires, Neji, but you really should follow your heart. If your heart's on Team Guy, then that's where you should be. Neji shook his head. Most of my interest in Team Guy is to study and learn alongside Rock Lee, but just because I'm not on a team with him doesn't mean that I can't do that. So long as I'm allowed to train with Lee, I'll gladly serve on Lady Hinata's team. Hiyashi smiled. Feel free to train with Lee as much as you want. When Tokuma shows up today, I'll inform him of your decision. Now, come, have breakfast. You all have a big day ahead of you. And so, after breakfast, Tokuma arrived and was pleasantly surprised to hear that Neji had chosen to be on their team. For a while, the team did small missions here and there, but all that changed with the, you guessed it, Land of Waves mission. It really was all Naruto that even got Team 7 this mission in the original series, so what makes you think that he wouldn't land it for them here? Naruto, having grown tired of these easy peasy missions, decides that he wants something more, something new, something exciting, and Hiruzen gives them just that, a chance to help an elderly man get from one village to another within the Land of Fire. It was never meant to be dangerous, but the threat of bandits was always there, which is why they were hired in the first place. Naruto was excited, of course. Hinata was nervous, and Neji was just, well, passive. That was all one could say about it. For Neji, there was no difference between this mission and simply picking up the trash on the side of the road. The only difference was that he would be walking a lot more than usual. Hiyashi, of course, was happy to hear that they were going to get their first real mission, one that he thought was perfect for them. Given the potential of the three, he believed that they could handle something even more difficult than this, but neglected to say anything as he didn't want the mission to seem too easy for them and cause disappointment. The trio and their jonin would meet up with the elderly bridge worker at about dawn, and the four would set off back to the Land of Waves. As they walked, though, something was off. They found a puddle on the road, and Neji told Naruto to stop. Naruto looked back. What is it? Neji pointed to the water. Naruto, do you remember it raining in the past few days? Naruto thought about it. I don't. Neji nodded. He looked around. Byakugan. Using his Byakugan, he came to realize the truth. There's a set of chakra signatures coming from within that water, he said. Naruto looked to Neji and then activated his own Byakugan. What should we do? Hinata asked as she looked into it. Tokuma seemed a bit disturbed. Bandits didn't generally have access to such high-level jutsu. He looked back at Tazuna. All right, maybe I lied, the elderly man said. I might have assassins after me. You didn't think that was important to tell us earlier? Tazuna shrugged. Sorry, I just needed the protection and couldn't afford the fee for Chunin. Tokuma grit his teeth. You and I will have a long and unpleasant conversation after this. Tokuma then turned to the others. Remember your training, guys. This just got really dangerous. Tokuma would then throw a kunai with an explosive tag into the water, watching it detonate. It blew back the demon brothers who were lying in wait. Stay close, Tokuma said. The demon brothers ran in at them, attempting to kill their target, but Naruto and Neji were ready for them. They looked to each other. Neji then said, Plan 8, Naruto. Naruto nodded. Naruto and Neji both ran in toward their targets before crossing paths and switching targets. They would both roll under their enemy's strikes. The boys moved in perfect unison. Naruto would turn around and strike his target in the elbow, as did Neji. As each of the demon brothers felt their elbows shatter under the force of the strike, Naruto and Neji would then strike 2 tenketsu in their sides before 1 in their hamstrings, causing their knees to go out from under them. Shift to plan 6. Naruto nodded. The 2 of them jumped over the top of their target before sweeping their leg and proceeding to strike 3 different tenketsu in their stomachs, causing the 2 to completely lose consciousness. Naruto and Neji would pull back. Tokuma would clap his hands. That was a good combo, you two. Well executed. Tazuna was in complete shock at the skill level of these 2 young shinobi. What was that? He asked in utter shock. Tokuma looked back. That was what we call the gentle fist technique. The 5 continued to walk, heading toward the Land of Waves. That was until Zabuza appeared, standing in a tree. Witnessing this higher level shinobi carrying one of the legendary 7 swords of the mist, Tokuma knew that this shinobi would be trouble. Just as before, Zabuza would get the upper hand, but instead of it being Kakashi locked in the water prison, it was Tokuma. Naruto and Neji needed to work together to get their master out, and to that end, the both of them needed to engage Zabuza. Plan 9, Naruto, Neji said. Naruto nodded. The 2 ran in towards Zabuza, with Neji running around the back of the water prison as Naruto engaged from the front. Zabuza would swing his blade at Naruto, who would dodge it, jumping away. Neji would come in towards the warrior, only to be kicked back. Neji would roll, catch himself, and throw a volley of kunai at Zabuza as Naruto drew close to strike his tenketsu. Zabuza would block the kunai with a swing of his sword. He then used the momentum of this swing to come back around and strike Naruto. Naruto attempted to move back and away from the strike, but the tip of the razor-sharp blade made contact and cut deep down Naruto's torso. Naruto cried out as Hinata called his name. He stumbled back and grabbed at his wound. He would fall to one knee and look at the blood. Tomoe was starting to lose consciousness within the bubble and looked as if he might drown any second. Neji then upped his own attacks, but when he was thrown into a tree and nearly passed out, Naruto felt a snap. His Tenseigan activated, and suddenly his body was covered in a cyan glow of chakra, as 8 truth-seeking orbs formed behind him. Naruto rushed in. Zabuza, seeing this, attempted to slash at him, only for his blade to be caught and snapped by Naruto, who then proceeded to tap almost every Tenketsu at nearly impossible speeds, causing Zabuza's entire chakra pathway system to collapse upon itself, killing him. Haku saw this and came out of the trees, intent to kill Naruto, but Naruto, seeing it, sensed a truth-seeking orb straight into Haku and detonated it, killing him as well. Tomoe, having fallen out of the water prison, was only now catching his breath. He looked up. Naruto. Neji sat up from where he had nearly lost consciousness and saw this power. Naruto stood there for a moment before expelling blood from his mouth and a gurgle of a cough. Neji lost his form and fell to the ground. "Naruto!" Hinata cried out as she ran to him. She rolled him over and saw the wound. "It's deep! Tomoe-sensei!" Tomoe rushed over. He looked at the wounds. "Alright, give me a second." Tomoe would utilize the gentle fist technique and begin to strike Tenketsu points around the wound, points that would cause contractions within the muscles around the wound. Naruto cried out in agony as this was done, but the good news was that the contraction of these muscles caused the muscles to slow blood flow. They then took gauze and packed it in, something else that was highly unpleasant for Naruto. "There. I think we've slowed the bleeding, but we need to get him to help now or he'll die." Tazuna led them to his home on the outskirts of the Land of Waves. They rushed in as Tazuna instructed his daughter to go get the town doctor. She ran off. They found a place to lay Naruto down. Not long after, the doctor appeared and proceeded to check up on Naruto. He would start to work, all the while the rest of Team Tomoe waited outside patiently. Eventually the doctor came out. "Good news. Nothing important was hit, and he should heal just fine. I have him stitched up and resting. The wound should close on its own, but he needs to take it easy for a little while." Tomoe would nod. Thankful of this, the group would re-enter the house. Hinata would stay by Naruto's side, holding his hand the entire time, even refusing to eat just in case Naruto needed her. Due to this, when the time came to guard the bridge, neither Naruto nor Hinata were able to go. Only Neji and Tomoe could, but as you already know, both Zabuza and Haku are dead. But this doesn't eliminate the threat entirely. Gato and his thugs still appear to cause chaos. However, when Gato sends his men to take Inari and Tsunami, Hinata is still there. She hears the commotion and runs outside, where she proceeds to defeat the thugs, saving Tsunami and Inari. Tsunami thanks her. Hinata feels as if something bad is happening, so she tells Inari and Tsunami that they need to gather people by the bridge. She says that the bridge symbolizes the Land of Waves attaining freedom from Gato's tyrannical rule, and that they need to be strong if they wish to be free. And so the two rush off and gather a small army of people intent to help, and they head for the bridge. When they get there, they see Tomoe and Neji already fighting, and they join as reinforcements. After a short battle, they push Gato and his men back, forcing them out of the village. With the mission done, they return back to the home of Tazuna, where they watch and wait until the bridge is completed. By the time it is, Naruto is already up and moving around, his wounds having healed. They proceed to return to Konoha to report on the mission. The Hokage is surprised to hear of the danger and commends them on a job well done, but he's more surprised to hear that Naruto alone has defeated one of the 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist, and due to this, offers them all a chance to join the Chunin exams. The team agrees to it and signs up. Returning home, they tell Hiyashi all about it. "You fought one of the 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist and won?" Naruto nods. He then shows him the scar across his torso. "See, I even got a souvenir from it." Hiyashi is a mix of proud and mortified. "And you've been asked to take part in the Chunin exams. That's a great honor indeed." Hiyashi proceeds to tell each of them how he's proud of them. Soon, it's time to participate in the Chunin exams. For the most part, the written test is easy. Naruto quickly realizes that the goal is to cheat, and with his Byakugan, that is not an issue. He simply uses it to look at everyone else's answers as well, and eventually manages to write down the correct ones. Due to this, and the confidence he would have in answering the final question, Naruto would ace this test. Naruto, Neji, and Hinata would then proceed to enter the Forest of Death, where their goal is to capture the Earth Scroll from another team, while protecting their Heaven Scroll. This is a lot easier than it seems, as with the power of the Byakugan, they can easily see the scrolls and know who to attack and who to avoid. And with the benefit of the gentle fist technique, it's not hard to subdue their enemies. With this, they managed to complete the Forest of Death fairly quickly, coming in second only to the Sand Siblings. The third part of the test is a simple set of exhibition matches in which Naruto must face Kiba Inuzuka. Naruto manages to defeat him with the gentle fist. The examinees are then given a month off to train for the finals, where Naruto and Hinata proceed to train extensively Sasuke together. Naruto becomes far more proficient in yoga, and his combat abilities continue to grow as he works with Neji, but Naruto further trains on his own. He manages to reacquire the strange transformation he achieved in the Land of Waves, and as he returns to the Chunin exams, he is extremely excited. Naruto manages to defeat his next opponent with ease, but Sasuke does as well, and it becomes apparent that the two of them will face each other in the finals. The entirety of Konoha grows excited about this, and they're not the only ones. Naruto himself grows excited as well. Naruto and Sasuke meet each other in the arena. "Are you ready for this?" Sasuke asks with the same overly confident smirk he always has. Naruto smiles. "I've been waiting for this day for what feels like an eternity. Ever since that fight we had on the playground, the only thing I've been thinking about is wiping the floor with your ass." Sasuke's smirk turns into a determined scowl. "Then let's see if you really have what it takes. No holds barred, 100% from the start." As he said this, his eyes shifted into the form of the Rinnegan. Naruto's eyes then shift to the Tenseigan. "Deal." And with that, the battle begins. Naruto rushes at Sasuke, and Sasuke at Naruto. Naruto attempts to make use of the gentle fist technique to strike Sasuke, but Sasuke knows what this is. He's prepared for this fight for a long time. He's studied the gentle fist technique and the tenketsu on the body. He knew what points Naruto was aiming for, and though Sasuke was incapable of using the same techniques as Naruto, he was capable of predicting where Naruto's strikes would be. He would push them back before spinning around Naruto's strike and elbowing him in the face. Naruto was pushed back. He felt a bruise already forming on his cheekbone. He looked back at Sasuke, who stood there with a look of superiority. Naruto smiled and would begin to walk back toward him. As Naruto ran towards Sasuke, he began to do somersaults, and as he did so, his hand touched the ground and caused it to rise into a shape not too dissimilar from himself. He had formed golems with this power and would use them to attack Sasuke. Sasuke would raise his hand and utilize the Ashura path to form missiles from his hand and fire them at each golem, destroying them. He would then turn to Naruto and use the Diva path to throw Naruto back. Naruto hit the wall hard. He hit the ground on one knee for a moment and shook his head and rose back to his feet. He looked to Sasuke again, who stood there smiling. "Well, let me get serious then," Naruto said. Suddenly his body was consumed in the cyan fire of a chakra mode. Sasuke saw this and was startled. Naruto formed his Truth Seeker orbs behind him, two of which he turned into a baton and a staff. Sasuke formed two chakra rods in his hand to defend himself. Naruto rushed at Sasuke. Sasuke raised his hand again to use the repulsive forces of the Diva path, but Naruto raised his hand and utilized some gravitational forces of his own, which almost seemed to take over Sasuke's. Naruto swung his weapons at Sasuke, who would catch them with his own. The two would strike out against each other, and it was obvious that Naruto had the upper hand. Sasuke would step back and would smile. He would summon a Susanoo. Naruto was shocked at the strength of Sasuke at this moment and had not known that Sasuke possessed such potential. The Susanoo struck out at Naruto, but Naruto jumped back. Naruto would touch the ground and form a massive golem to fight back against Sasuke's Susanoo. The Susanoo was incomplete, but it was strong. The two massive avatars fought until Naruto put a crack within the Susanoo. He would jump from his golem to the crack and smash a truth-seeking orb into it, opening the path up. He would dive in and proceed to utilize the 8 trigram 64 palms on Sasuke. Suddenly, the Susanoo dissipated as Sasuke fell to the ground, conscious but unable to move. Naruto was declared the winner and Sasuke was carted off. With his victory secured, the Hokage would approach him to congratulate him. Having secured victory, he was to become a Chunin. A new vest was brought out to Naruto and given to him. Naruto quickly fastened it on. "Congratulations, Naruto," Hiruzen said. "Thanks, Lord Hiruzen. It means a lot." Suddenly, there was a gasp from the crowd as people pointed up to the heavens. Naruto and Hiruzen looked up. They saw two figures hovering there. Each one had pale white skin and horns coming from their heads. "Congratulations indeed," the smaller of the two said. "You've proven your strength, but it won't be enough to save you." "Who are you?" Naruto called out to them. The smaller one spoke. "I am Momoshiki Otsutsuki, and this is Kinshiki. We have come to reclaim what's rightfully ours." "What do you mean?" Naruto asked. Momoshiki then began to speak. "1,000 years ago, one of our lower class clansmen came here to claim Earth's natural energy. Her name was Kaguya, but she betrayed her compatriot and proceeded to take all the chakra for herself. And it seems that she bred that chakra into you. It's unusual to see people like yourself in possession of the greatest dojutsu of the Otsutsuki clan. It makes me think that you possess far more than just our chakra. But regardless, I've come to take back that chakra that was supposed to belong to my family, and I'll start with you." The people in the stands began to panic as Momoshiki and Kinshiki lowered to the ground. Naruto raised his weapons. "You know I'm not just gonna let you have it, right?" Momoshiki smiled. "I would have it no other way." Momoshiki and Kinshiki would rush at Naruto, and the three would begin trading blows. Naruto was obviously at a disadvantage. In the stands, Hiashi spoke. "The day we have long feared has arrived. And now we know why fate has given us 2 users of heavenly eyes. I have confidence in Naruto's abilities to fight, but Sasuke needs to be here too. I don't think Naruto can do this alone. Hinata heard this and rushed down to the medical wing where she found Sasuke laying there. Up and at him, she said as she struck his tenketsu to unblock it and allow him to move. Sasuke would sit up. Hinata would grab his hand and begin to walk to the door, only to feel her hand pulled back. She looked back to see Sasuke still sitting there. What are you doing? You need to help Naruto. Sasuke looked at her. Help him with what? He doesn't need my help. He's the one with the Tenseigan. That power boost is all he needs. Let him fight those monsters himself. Hinata came back. Sasuke, I know your pride is hurt right now, but Naruto can't do this alone. He's at a disadvantage. He needs you. Sasuke scoffed. If he's stronger than me, then he doesn't need anyone. Hinata sat there for a moment. Sasuke, you know you and he were never supposed to have those eyes. But something happened. The chances of these eyes appearing alone is already astronomical, but for them to appear at the same time, in the same village, that's divine. Sasuke, you and Naruto were both brought together for a reason, and I believe this threat is the reason. These two plan to destroy the world, and they're gonna start here, in Konoha. I know you may dislike sharing the spotlight with Naruto, but if you don't help him now, there won't be a spotlight left to fight over. Naruto was doing well against them both, but he was still outmatched. He'd be knocked against a wall. As he sat there, he looked up and saw Momoshiki and Kinshiki standing above him. Momoshiki scoffed. For someone who possesses one of the most exalted dojutsu within the Otsutsuki clan, you certainly don't have much ability to use it. Suddenly, a kunai passed between their heads and buried itself in the wall behind. Momoshiki and Kinshiki looked back. If you want to destroy Konoha, then you have to go through me too, Sasuke shouted. Momoshiki laughed. And who do you think you are? Just because you possess the Rinnegan, don't think yourself special. Sasuke smiled. Suddenly, he used a Menotechikara and switched places with the kunai he put in the wall before kicking both Momoshiki and Kinshiki back. The two Otsutsuki stumbled. Sasuke looked down at Naruto. I hate your guts. He then extended his hand down to him. But I hate theirs more. What do you say we team up against them? Split the workload 50-50. Naruto nodded. Which one are you taking? Sasuke looked back at them. I'll take Fatso. You take Scrawny Boy. Naruto nodded. Got it. And so the two of them rushed into battle against the Otsutsuki. Naruto and Sasuke together separated Momoshiki and Kinshiki from each other, pressing them. It became a more even fight, one that Momoshiki and Kinshiki felt that they might lose. And so they began to prioritize getting to each other. Kinshiki and Momoshiki managed to break free of Sasuke and Naruto, and they rushed to meet each other. Kinshiki then offered his life to Momoshiki, who would then absorb him for his chakra. Momoshiki would suddenly undergo a change that saw his horns grow out. Black markings began to litter his body as his Rinnegan and Byakugan turned a golden color. With this new power, he began to charge at Naruto and Sasuke. The two would be pushed back for a time. What are we gonna do about this? Sasuke asked. Naruto looked up. There was once a rumor that the last bearers of these eyes, Hamada and Hagoromo, once faced a threat of similar strength and power. Together, they unified their strength and sealed them away in the moon. I think we could do the same, but we need to be a good ways away from Konoha to do this. Think you can get us away? Sasuke nodded. You get a hold of Momoshiki, and I'll do the rest. And so Naruto charged Momoshiki as Sasuke threw a kunai into the air as hard as he could, even giving it the added boost of the Diva Path. Sasuke would then rush to Naruto, who was holding Momoshiki in place. He would wrap his arms around Naruto and Momoshiki before using a Menotechikara to switch places with his kunai. He would immediately use a Menotechikara again to switch places with a rock on a distant mountain to get them away from Konoha. Once there, Momoshiki broke free. Do you think changing locations is going to do anything? Naruto smiled. It gives us the freedom to actually defeat you. Naruto and Sasuke both rushed in after Momoshiki, dodging his attacks left and right. They then looked at each other and gave a nod. They channeled their Six Paths powers into the only technique they shared, Chibaku Tensei. Touching Momoshiki, they would cause the seal to begin. Suddenly, Momoshiki was encased in a massive Chibaku Tensei, which would then be fired into the heavens, leaving Earth's orbit to forever drift through space. Naruto and Sasuke were tired from this. Falling back, they'd laugh. You know, we actually make a pretty good team, Naruto said. Sasuke laughed a bit more. Don't push it. They would return to Konoha to a hero's welcome. The entire village was grateful for protecting them. Do you see, Hiyashi? Hiruzen would say. It's because of these two that we're safe. Just as we predicted, they were born because they could protect us from something we couldn't face on our own. Hiyashi nodded. Once more, the sages of Six Paths walk the earth. I can only hope that they'll bring us peace as they did in the past. Hiruzen smiled as he watched the two celebrate their victory. I have a feeling that they will. And that's where I plan to call it. I think that's a nice wrap up for this series, don't you? But hey, just because the series is over, it doesn't mean that it has to be over. If you all truly liked this video and want some more of it, just let me know. Be sure to share this video around. If it gets enough views and you all want more from it, I'll consider adding extra parts to the story. While the Rinnegan has more varied abilities, the ones that the Tenseigan shares with it are far stronger. And the fact that the Tenseigan comes with a Chakra mode and truth-seeking orbs makes it a more taijutsu-centered dojutsu. But anyway, be sure to like the video, subscribe, and ring that bell to be notified when more videos like this drop. Until next time, peace.